Disclaimer: this story is for into boy. If you are uncomfortable, then you can leave. This is pure imaginary story. Please don't relate this with any idol. Whatever pics I used in this story aren't mine. I downloaded them from Google and Pinterest. The credit of the pics goes to the owner. Arthur's point of view. Yoongi blamed T for Cook's poor grades and gave him hard strokes by cane. He took Jimin with himself. T realized his mistakes and he promised to Yoongi that now onwards he will fulfill his all the responsibilities sincerely and never give him any chance to punish him. T was very furious on Cook, not because Yoongi punished him because of Cook. He was angry because he broke his promise and took advantage of his leniency. T took Cook to his home and gave him a hard slap. T called their parents and told them everything. After knowing this, Cook's parents got very angry with him and scolded him harshly. T took the permission from their parents to punish him, and their parents gave him permission because it was for Cook's bright future and they can't let him play with his future. T gave him hard caning on his both the calf. T didn't want to do this, but Cook didn't left him any other option for him. Let's see what happens next. T strictly. Go to in my room and at night after dinner I will take a test from Maths chapter 6, exercise 6.7 and 6.8. Go and practice. Cook didn't expect this. Usually after punishment, T picked him to the room and put ointment on his marks and did lots of aftercare. But this time he strictly said him to go and study. There was no softness in his voice. Cook tried to move but fall on the floor because of pain, but T didn't help him. He was standing there but held himself back. Cook again tried to stand and walk to T's room. He was struggling to walk properly, but somehow he managed to walk. He went to T's room and quickly lay down on the bed on his stomach and started crying more loudly. The pain was unbearable for him. He never get punishment by this much hard. He got some spankings by T's hands only or some strokes with ruler on his palms and that too only 10 to 15 hits. He slept unknowingly while crying. Arthur's point of view. It was very hard for T. He hates when Cook cried and he hates the most when he cried because of him. But for Cook's betterment, he has to take some tough decisions. His heart was dying to bring his love in his embrace and giving him all his love and comfort. But he can't do this because if he shows his feelings, then Cook never take him seriously. T's point of view. I punished Cook hard for the first time. I'm feeling bad for punishing him. After all, he is my life. I love him a lot. I never punished him like that. To be honest, it was terrible. I also don't want to beat him like this, but he didn't leave any choice for me. First, he started ignoring his studies, then started behaving bratty. After that, broke his promise. Then today he fought. I know he didn't fight for fun. He fought for Jimin, but the way he and Jimin beated the boy. Mark, he hospitalized. Seriously, hospitalized? If someone teases you or trying to fight with you, then you will beat him to the death? No, right? One punch was enough for him, but no, they Jikook both wanted to kill him out of anger. Tell me, if anything serious happened to Mark, then what happened to Jikook? Does Mark's parents will leave them Jikook? What if they filed a complaint against Jikook then? What happened with their future? Do they able to get admission in any reputed university? No, never. None of the university allowed that type of a student in their university who had criminal records. Jikook beated Mark and because of this Mark is hospitalized. It is a crime. If Mark's parents filed a complaint then Jikook can go to behind bars. That's the reason why Suga Yang requested to Mark's mom to not file complaints and why did I had to take some strict action against Cook. That's why I beaten him like this. Arthur's point of view. Sometimes kid needs strict punishment rather than words. They tried to make him understand by words how much studies are important, but did Cook take it seriously? No, he broke his promise too. Because he knows T is in deeply love with him. He will not punish him, or if he will punish him, then not the hard one. From here, he started spoiling. When kids don't have a fear of bearing consequence, they started spoiling. That's why some strict punishment is required to balance their enjoyment and discipline. Discipline means to control your kids' unnecessary behavior. It doesn't mean that you stop kids to enjoy their life. Give them freedom but with some restriction. I hope I explained everything well. If you still can't understand this then and think they did wrong, then I can't do anything with it. Everyone has their own thinking. We can't make everyone happy. Time skipped after 2 hours. He entered in his room to check Cook. He saw Cook was sleeping on his stomach. He went near him and sat beside him on the bed. He saw red marks on Cook's both the calf. His heart clenched to see this. He realized how hard he went on him. He took out ointment on his nightstand drawer and gently applied on his marks by blowing air. He didn't want to disturb his sleep, but when the ointment touched his bruised calf, his eyes wide open because of unbearable pain. Cook saw Tea was sitting beside him. He didn't saw ointment on his hand. He immediately sat up because he started fearing from him. He thought Tea was coming here to beat him once again. When he said his bruised calf rubbed from the bedsheet and Cook started yelling in the pain because it was too much for that poor soul. Cook screamed in pain. Ah! Tea quickly went to him and took him in his embrace, but Cook tried to hide his face and back off. It hurts Tea deeply. His love of the life is now scaring from him. He thinks Tea again beat him. Big fat tears were flowing from his big doe eyes. Cook was covering his face with his hands. Tea controlled himself and gently pulled Cook's leg again and started applying ointment on his calf by blowing air so that he feels less pain. T cleared his throat. I came here to apply ointment, not to beat you. Don't worry, I'm going back. Hearing this, Cook immediately removed his hand and looked at him. He saw T was about to go. He quickly held T's hand to stop him. He wants T's warmth, his comforting words. He wants to cry in T's embrace. Cook, while holding T's hand, don't go, cracked voice. Cook quickly back-hugged T and started crying more loudly. He hugged T tightly to get his warmth. No matter how much angry and disappointed he is with Cook, he never leave him like this. He knows Cook needs lots of comforts. He isn't used of this. He always get pampering and lots of comfort by others. No one behaved rude to him. No one ignored him. This is his first time. T gently broke back hug. Cook thought now T started hating him. That's why he doesn't want to hug him more. But he was so wrong. T broke the hug because he wants to hug him properly. T pulled him like a cola and Cook quickly hugged him like this. He tightened his hold on T's like if he loosens the hold, T will disappear. He snuggled more on T's chest. He carefully picked him and sat on the bed. Cook was still hugging him. T gently started stroking his hairs and back to smoothen his breath. He knows Cook was feeling insecure and only his love can feel him secure. He didn't say any word. He only strokes his back. After 10 minutes, Cook calmed down. He wasn't crying now. He only sobbed. Cook was saying sorry again and again, but T didn't say a single word. Cook, I'm sorry. Please talk to Mimi. I will never repeat this. T, hold his emotions back. Take a rest. He gently broke the hug and put him on the bed and about to leave. Cook, please don't go now. Hold T's palm tightly but hurt T's bruises and T lightly hissed in pain. T. Cook immediately left his hand. Cook, what happened? T. Nothing. Cook, no, something happened. Did you hurt? Again took T's hands on his hand and saw there was keen marks. He looked his other palm and there were too some keen marks. He looked up T with questionable eyes. T took his hands back. Leave it. Cook, how did you get this? Who did this? T, no one. Take a rest. Cook stubbornly. Suga Hyang. He again took T's palm and saw his one tear dropped on his bruised palm. It was the tear of guilt. T, it's my reward. Cook mumbles, sorry. He took ointment and applied on his both of the palm gently while blowing air. Guilt started building on his heart. If your loved ones hurt because of you or your fault, it hurts 1,000 times more than any punishments. T, do you want anything to eat? Cook wiped his tears. No. T, okay, I'm going outside. I will come back in the evening. Snacks are in the kitchen. If you want to order something, then you can. Please don't go anywhere outside of the house. Cook, I will not go anywhere. T, okay. Left from there. Meanwhile, with Yoonmin, Yoongi left from T's cabin and Jimin followed him while hanging his head low. Yoongi was waiting for him in his car. Jimin came and sat on his place and Yoongi tied his seat belt. Yoongi drove to their house. The whole car ride was silent, which increased Jimin's heartbeat. In the living room, Yoongi came into living room and sat on the couch and harshly put his car's key on the center table. It shows how much angry he is. Jimin gulped hard to see him like this. He came near him and stood in front of him. His body was shaking due to fear. Jimin, shaky voice. Yoon? Yoongi looked at him with furious eyes. He didn't say anything, just stared him. Jimin, in mind. Park, Jimin, be ready for your funeral. Today Yoon will eat you alive. Yoongi, scary voice. What did you have in your lunch? His voice wasn't like as he normally used with Jimin. His voice was so sharp and chilled. It sent shiver to Jimin. Jimin, scared. No, nothing. Yoongi, so you didn't have your lunch, right? Jimin, remembered something. No, I had ramen in college cafeteria. Yoongi, do you remember what did I say to you? Jimin slowly nodded his head. Yes. Yoongi, what? Jimin, not to have junk food. Yoongi, and why? Jimin, because I had stomachache. Yoongi, sarcastically, wow, you remembered this. Then also you dare to disobey me. Jimin just hung his head low. Yoongi, you dare to have 6 noodles. I refused you to have 1 noodle and you had 6. Seriously, 6? Shouts. Jimin, shocked to hear this and said in mind, how did he know? Only me and Cook know this. Yoongi, stop pressurized your bean-sized brain that how did I know about this? Jimin, in mind, am I think that loud so he heard my inner voice too? Yoongi took out his mobile and showed him some pics. Yoongi, see this. Jimin got shocked to see the pics. Jimin gulped hard to see the pics. In the first pic he was eating noodles and in second pic was 6 emptied cup. Yoongi, shocked to see this. Wanna know how did I get these pics? Jimin shook his head. Yes. Flashback started. Yoongi was in his cabin and collecting students' test paper. Just then he got a call. He checked the caller ID and picked the call. OTP. Hello Hyang. Yoongi. Yeah T, what happened? T, Hyang, do you know what is your obedient and well-mannered husband doing? Yoongi checked his wristwatch. It's his lunch break, so probably having his lunch with that bunny boy. This time Yoongi didn't correct T to call Jimin as his husband. T, wow Hyang, you know his schedule too. Impressive. Yoongi, T, you called me to tell this. I'm not free like you, so I'm hanging up. T, no Hyang, I call you to show something important. Yoongi, what? Tell me fast. T, wait Hyang, send some pics. I send you some pics. First check it. Yoongi checked the pics and shocked to see Jimin was having noodles and that too 6. T, yeah Hyang, if you say then I will stop him. Yoongi, no T, let him have. He already had 3, so he surely get a stomachache soon. At least let him happy to have his favorite dish. T, okay Hyang, as your wish. Call ended. Flashback ended. Jimin made a face. Oh, so sir sent you these pics? Yoongi, he informed me. Jimin, scared. So sorry, I was hungry so. Yoongi, so what? If you were hungry, then you had that much junk food, and that too when you just had a stomachache. Jimin, sorry. Get ready to himself for good scolding session. Yoongi, tell me how many rules you broke. Jimin started thinking and counting. Not to have junk food 1, never involve in fighting 2, never get complaints from college 3, never take your studies and health for granted 4, always obey to you 5. 5, yeah, 5. I broke total 5 rules, said confidently like he did any good things without even realizing what's next coming to him. Yoongi raised his one eyebrow. Are you sure? Jimin confidently, yes. Sudden realization hit him that it comes with lots of punishments because he broke Yoongi's 5 most important rules. Yoongi, well, you broke other rules too, but let them aside for now. You will punish for each of your mistake, and don't you dare to think that I will go easy on you. Jimin, more scared, means? Yoongi, you will get to know soon. Now come here. It's the time for your punishment. I started talking with you gently, so you started thinking I will not do anything with you, right? You forget who I am, right? I'm behaving with you like Yoon, so you started taking advantage of my leniency, right? But don't worry. Today you will get to know meet Yoongi. You will get spankings for having 6 noodles. Jimin, no. But before he could say anything, Yoongi pulled him over his knees and set him in his spanking's position. Yoongi folded his shirt sleeve till his arms. Jimin kept beginning to free himself. Jimin, please, no spankings. Yoongi, it's very late now. You should think about this before breaking the rules. Now you have to bear the consequence. Jimin, but not here, please. Yoongi raised his one eyebrow. But why? Jimin hid his face in Yoongi's knees. Jimmy is also here. Yoongi in mind. Oh, so he's feeling shy even with Jimmy too. Yoongi cleared his throat. That's good. Jimmy should also know this. Now listen the rules carefully. I will never repeat this again. Punishments rules. No back off. Accept your punishment sincerely. No misbehave during punishments. No holding back your screams. Verbal answer only. No rubbing in between the punishments. No interference between the punishments. Jimin in mind. This much rules. It sounds so scary. Jimin, okay. Yoongi, it's your first time, so I am not giving you bear, but from the next time, you will always get bear spankings. Jimin shyly nodded his head. Okay. Yoongi, okay then, I am going to start. No need to count. Gently patted on his back to indicate. First spank landed on his right butt cheek, but Jimin screamed in pain. It wasn't the half of what he gave to T, but as it's Jimin's first time, so it hurts the most. Jimin screamed, ah! Each spank was harder than the previous one, but still didn't reach at T's level. No matter how much angry he is, he didn't forget that Jimin has free girl body. He wasn't used of them. So he gave him time to breathe. He stopped after giving him one spank. On the other hand, for Jimin, it's very hard punishment. His bottom started hurting just by 6 spanks. He screamed his lungs out and started crying loudly. Yoongi gently made him stand in front of him by holding his arm. Jimin's cute small baby face was turned red due to crying. He wanted to rub but can't do because of the rules. Yoongi, your punishment is not over yet. Go to the corner and stand there by facing the wall. Jimin went to the corner. He saw Jimmy there and immediately lowered his eyes. He kneeled down beside him by facing the wall. Yoongi, what are you doing? Jimin, confused. Completing my punishment. Yoongi, I told you to stand, not to kneel down. So stand up. Jimin, okay. OTP. Yoongi, come here fast. I have come near your house. I will be there in few minutes. Yoongi, okay, I'm waiting. Call ended. Jimin, whispering voice. Who is coming? Hey Jimmy, do you think who is coming? Looked at Jimmy. First stop laughing. Are you teasing me? Don't tease me. Big pout. It's not like I always punished. This is my first time. He tried his best to convince Jimmy. Yoongi, deep voice. I told you to stand there or to talk. Jimin, in mind, he can hear me? His ears are so sharp. Yoongi, deep voice. I think you decided to not listen to me, right? But don't worry, I have many other ways to make you obey me. Jimin, flinched hard. So sorry. Yoongi, save your sorry for later. Doorbell rings. Ding dong. Yoongi went to open the door. Yoongi, thanks for coming at such a short notice. Please come inside. It's fine, Yoongi. Please don't be formal. They both came into living room and saw Jimin was standing at the corner by facing the wall. Yoongi, you gave him time out? Yoongi, now what did he do? Yoongi, if you get to know then you will be angry too. Really? Yoongi, yeah. Call him here. Yoongi, not yet. Looked at his wristwatch. There is still 5 minutes left. Yoongi, you and your so-called rules. I'm calling him here. Jimin? In soft voice. Jimin was hearing their talks and trying to guess the person. He heard him before but couldn't remember where. When he heard his name, he immediately turned his head to see the person and got shocked to him. Jimin, shocked. You? To be continued. Questions. How's the episode? Whom Yoongi called to his house? Where did he go? Author's note. That's it for today. I hope you all like it. First of all, let me clear one thing. The story's name is My Strict Professor Husband, so it's obvious to have some strictness. This whole series doesn't has lots of punishments. Only time when punishment is needed, there is punishment. Story is based on my imagination and South Korea. Their spankings and calf canings are normal. I'm not a teenager, I'm an adult and knows very well what to write or not. Jikook did huge mistakes and now they have to bear consequence. It's no hard punishment. Every action comes with reaction. And for those people who think they are right to tell me that it's abuse, physical punishments are wrong. So first, there is huge difference between abuse and punishments. What Andrew did with Yoongi is called an abuse. They took permission from their parents before punishing Cook. There is nothing wrong. Correcting youngers is the responsibility of elder and the most importantly, it's my book, my story. I can write whatever I feel to write. If you never give compliment to my story, then you don't have right to criticize. This is only for few people. I'm too good and it's not my weakness. I'm glad to see that my regular readers understood everything very well and gave reply to others before me. Thanks for supporting me. My readers are so mature and good. It's just few people randomly come and say without even realizing their words. Take care of yourself. I will upload next episode soon. This is my new channel. Please subscribe it and share it with your friends too. Follow me on Insta and subscribe my first channel too. Link is in description section. You can find the introduction to episode 3 playlist link in the description section. If you like this story then please do like, subscribe, share and comment. I assure you that you will never gonna regret on your decision. Love you all. Thanks for watching.